Merry Christmas, everybody. It's time for the Spanish Grand Prix, and as you can hear, it's Christmas music in the background. That will be for the intro of this video, as I thought I'd do something special. And if you're watching this in the summer, then I don't know, yeah, it's still Christmas for me, so yeah, just watch the video and enjoy. We are doing a decision on either we should give Carlos experience or racecraft, and I thought, like, Carlos has been in Formula 1 for a long time now, so he has enough experience. So let's give him some simulated time and give him some extra racecraft. But yeah, we are nearing the end of 2022, and this will be the penultimate race of this year. And as you can see, we changed the livery for this race, as this will be uploaded on Christmas Day. You can see a beautiful livery, but still we cannot put on our sponsors, so that's really unfortunate. So if anyone knows what to do, then please let me know in the comments down below. I asked this in a few episodes ago, but no one answered, so I'm going to ask it again, as we are now changing our color teams. You can see I'm switching up yellow and red so that our team colors become yellow on the minimap, in the race, and on everything else. So yeah, let's see how that looks as we are changing to the R&D in a moment now. And we have $7.8 million in the bank, so we can use it in a few episodes time for our, I think it's chassis that needs to upgrade to Spec 3, as we take a look at the upgrades that we can do. Of course, only 1.8k resource points, so no ultimate upgrades for either aerodynamics or the powertrain, so we'll have to go for a minor rear downforce upgrade to try and stay the best car in the grid. Of course, you can see McLaren has the better aerodynamics for now, but we are of course upgrading. And I've noticed in this season that everybody is upgrading really fast, so we need to use all our development points to upgrade, otherwise we will fall back and we won't win the Constructors' Championship this year. But I've decided to go for this livery as it's Christmas Day on the day that this gets uploaded. Of course, it's not even Christmas evening for me, but that will be in a few days time. So let's get into the Spanish Grand Prix. We are not doing the Pirelli hot lap. I don't know, I just don't like it that much. As you can see, our team color is yellow, and also a few things have changed in the background for us, but nothing major, luckily. So if you haven't subscribed yet, then please do like the video as well and share it with all your friends, as we are looking at the soft tires. They will be on for qualifying. We are coming out on track, as you can see, in our special livery, taking a bit of grass with us. Our tires are still cold, and you can see we are already off track, and we spin around to just heat up our tires to get them at a good temperature, as they are now already 80%, no, not 80%, 80 degrees. So that's good to start our outlap, but of course we need to go as fast as possible in this first lap to maybe save a set of tires for the rest of the qualifying. But as you can see, there's an AlphaTauri really close behind us, and you can see a Williams is coming out of the pit, so let's hope that he does not hold us up in our quick lap, otherwise we will need to go out again. It's Alexander Albon, as you can see, in the Williams, and we are not getting fast like we want to. We need to go off the racing line, which puts us in a really difficult position for the next corner, and we lose a lot of time. So that's actually just this lap thrown away. Of course, I'm still going to end this lap. As you can see, around the final corner we go. But of course, I know that we will lose about half a second in that corner, so we can still improve. We are 1.1 seconds behind Sergio Perez at the moment, and by the looks of it, it's now time for the final parts of the Q1 session. You can see we are behind Tictum, so I wanted to leave a bit of space, but I didn't notice that I think it's Liam Lawson who's really close behind us, and it's our teammate as well, but they are in the top 10. I'm still in P18, as you can see, P9 and P6, so I need to go as fast as possible, and they can't overtake me, otherwise I will be out of this qualifying, and that's not what we want, of course. Taking the first couple of corners, not the way we wanted. Of course, if we did it better, then we would have gained even more time, as we are now trying to go as fast as possible still. But once we come to the corner where we overtook Alexander Albon, as we are right now, you can see we gain loads and loads of times, already 2/10 that we gain through this fast right-hander, and we gain even more. It's now half a second, even more, 6/10, 7/10. And as we are now in the final few corners, you can see we are already gaining 1 second. So we should be fine with getting into Q2. And as you can see, we crossed the line, and it's P8 for us. So that's good to see that we have the pace. Oh no, it's P9. I thought it was P8 as I saw it in the left top corner. But it's P9. Still, it's true, as we're only 3 thousandths behind our teammate and 3/10 behind Paul at the moment. But of course, it's not the final part of qualifying, so there's still a long way to go. But as we are now in Q2, you can see it's the end already. I did a out lap or a banker lap at the beginning of the session, but that was on a used set of softs, and I didn't really show it because it wasn't necessary for the video, as we are trying to get ourselves up into the top 10. We are still in P9, but everybody is going to improve in this final stage of qualifying here now. You can see 1/10 gain in the first sector, and as we go through to the fast right-hander into sector 3, and it's already 4/10 that we are gaining, and we need to do that as we are now dropping down to P12 and even P14, and I think that both the Alpines still need to make their improvements, so we will fall down to P15 and P16, but as we cross the finish line, we are up by 8/10, so we should be fine as we cross the line, and I think that's P5 or somewhere around that. Yes, it's P5, and we are through to the third part of qualifying, which is great to see. So yeah, it's of course our teammates' home race, so let's just try to give him the best car as possible. Of course, our team color is still red in this. You can see at the teams, it's still red. I don't know why, because at the minimap it's yellow, at the development index it's yellow. So I don't know why that's red, as we are now out for our first lap in Q3. As of course we have 2 sets of softs remaining for this session. So we need to start our first lap. Of course, I waited a bit to see how fast the other guys were going, but I decided to go out as well to just try and put in 2 fast laps to get ourselves a good chance of getting in the top 5, in the top 3, maybe even pole position. But of course we know that we are not as fast in the qualifying as we are in the race. So if we are in the top 6, top 7, then we should be fine at getting a podium this race. So yeah, we are trying to do that right now. You can see the first lap is almost over, and everybody has set a time except for us, so we are now trying to do that as well as we round the final corner and we go on towards the DRS straight, towards the finish line, and it's P6 for us at the moment, which is really great to see, as this gives us a good setup for what we want in this race. You can see P6 still, we are the final car to cross the finish line, and it's trying to be as fast as possible in this lap. Of course, this lap wasn't perfect, otherwise I could have gained maybe 2 or 3 tenths here and there in a few corners, but we are still improving by 3 tenths, at the moment 4 tenths even, and it's P9 for us. Russell still needs to cross the finish line, so we are going to drop down to P10, but of course we are also still improving by half a second now. It's even 6 tenths. No, never mind, we have a bad exit, but our previous exit was even worse, and we are faster by half a second, and it looks like it's P7, P8, somewhere around that. Yes, it's P7 for the race, so that's really good to see. Let's see how far we are. Our pole position is half a second, so we could have gained another 2 or 3 tenths, and then we could have been at the top 4. But our teammate is in P4, which is really great to see for him in his home Grand Prix. Of course, we need to beat Ferrari and Red Bull to gain points on them. So that's our goal for this race.
The Spanish Grand Prix has been a permanent fixture on the Formula One calendar for over 30 years now, and for good reason. Do you remember Michael Schumacher's absolute dominance here in that rain-soaked Grand Prix in 1996? That day he took his first ever victory for Ferrari, and we've had many more iconic moments since. The Circuit de Barcelona-Catalunya then, a high-speed 2.89-mile circuit which demands an efficient downforce package and bravery on the part of the driver, especially through the blind right of turn 9, which we might just see taken flat out this weekend. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. World champion Max Verstappen starts from pole position, and it's Charles Leclerc in P2. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Perez, Sainz, Fernando Alonso and Ricciardo. The engineer, Hamilton, Russell and Esteban Ocon. Norris, Ticktum, Liam Lawson and Albon. Magnussen, Gasly, Robert Schwartzman and Guan Yu Zhou. Stroll, Tsunoda, Mick Schumacher and Nicholas Latifi. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track where preparations are underway. And with me today, of course, is Natalie Pinkham. We should talk about Alfa Romeo. There have been some tweaks to the power unit regulations, of course, and I have to say it doesn't seem, so far at least, that they've been able to keep up.
It doesn't look promising for them so far. And if the new regs have hit them as hard as we think, well, I suspect they may need a few late nights at the factory to get back on track.
You can see two Christmas cars lining up to start the Grand Prix, as this is the formation lap. You can see the top 11 is on mediums and Ticktum on softs, Gasly on softs, Stroll, Tsunoda and Schumacher on soft as well. So they are going for a 2-stop maybe, or maybe softs to hards, but I don't think that the Aston Martin is upgraded enough to go for a 1-stop on the softs. As you can see, it's around lap 16 to lap 22 that we will pit for our hard compound of tires. Of course, we still need to get there. Of course, anything can happen in this sort of race. You remember maybe 2016 here at the Spanish Grand Prix. The two guys behind me then crashed. Of course, the two Mercedes crashed. Russell wasn't in F1 back then. It was Rosberg and Hamilton who collided, which gained Max Verstappen his first win of his career. Of course, now he's already, I think, how many wins has Max Verstappen got right now? Let me know in the comments down below, as the final cars are starting to pull up to the grid. And it's now time to start the Spanish Grand Prix. Here we go. It's 5 lights on. And it's lights out and away we go. We are starting from P7. You can see Hamilton has a better start than us, but it's not the worst start we've ever had. So we only lose one position as we are now alongside with Ocon. We try to go around the other side, but Hamilton just blocks that off, and we are now trying to hold on to P8 as Ocon tries to overtake us, but that doesn't work. We are still in P8 at the moment, so it's a good start for us as we run wide, but no warning for track limits there, as I don't want to run side by side with a Mercedes through that corner. So I let him go, but we use a beautiful switchback to gain his position back. Still side by side with George Russell as we are up into P8 once again. Never mind, he's coming back and he's trying to overtake me, but this is not a corner where it can go side by side as we take the 8th position in lap 1. At the moment you can see still within 1 second of Hamilton, luckily, otherwise it would have been a really difficult job. But as we cross the lap 1, so we are now up into lap 2. I don't know what I was doing there. It's just because I'm trying to get this video out on Christmas Day. As you can see, we are in P8 still. And I noticed that when I put on my ERS and I did go full throttle, that I was faster than the Mercedes and the McLaren. So that should be really useful for us, and hopefully also for our teammate to be faster than anyone else. As you can see, a purple first sector and a green second sector. So we should be able to hold that pace for the rest of the Grand Prix. Of course, I don't know how it's going to be on the hard tires, but we'll find out in a few moments time, as we are now at the end of lap 2, and we are getting into the third lap already, and that means that DRS will be enabled. We put in a 120.1. It isn't the fastest lap, but we'll get our shot at that later in this Grand Prix. As we are still really close behind Lewis Hamilton, we didn't get an opportunity yet as we go deep into this corner. So yeah, our biggest issue at this track is that we don't have a good exit out of the penultimate corner, which means that we don't get a good run on Hamilton on the straights. Of course, maybe if DRS is enabled, then we can get a good shot.
There appears to be an issue. We're currently investigating.
Oh no. Okay, so let's just follow this through and see what the problem is. Let's hope that it's not a fatal problem and that we can continue our race, maybe lose a bit of acceleration or top speed. I wouldn't mind that, but it's not good to DNF in a race like this where we need to gain points on Ferrari and Red Bull and not lose any, as I've only had 18 points. Oh no. Yeah, this is race over. You can see we put out a lot of smoke into the car of Russell and Ocon, and it's us retiring due to a mechanical failure, and this has been our race, our Spanish Grand Prix. Let's just hope that our teammate gets up into the podium. Of course, that isn't an easy task as well.
Brilliant stuff from Red Bull today. What a superb victory. So Natalie, what do you think helped them deliver this result?
Well, tyre management probably played quite a large role in the outcome of this one. As ever, it's not just about speed, it's about maintaining that speed consistently over a stint, over a race distance. So, being able to keep up the lap times while still being smooth on the controls, gentle on the tyres, that's where the race was won today.
Red Bull are our winners today after showcasing some incredible driving. There's been a huge push from them lately to stay competitive with the other teams, and they're certainly proving themselves.
So no podium for our teammate. It's Max Verstappen who wins, just like in 2016. Charles Leclerc takes P2, and it's Fernando Alonso who rounds up the podium. And that's not good for us, not at all. We lose a lot of points to Red Bull and to Ferrari in this third race, but it's only the third race of the season. We have still 13 races to go, so still a long way to go, and we should be able to catch up to them once again. But this is just a sign that we need to focus on durability. As you can see, Carlos Sainz finishes P4, only 1.4 seconds behind Fernando Alonso. So it was really close, but just he was not fast enough to eventually get up onto that podium. And as you can see, we had a DNF, and we were the only DNF of this race. So yeah, sometimes that happens. As we take a look at the standings, we are still on 18 points. Our teammate is only 9 points away from the championship lead, but we need to gain some points. We are 39 points behind Ferrari, only 3 points behind Red Bull, so we are now in P3 in the constructor standings. But that will be for next time. I hope everybody has a lovely Christmas day and a happy New Year's as well, as this is the end of the video already. So happy holidays, enjoy your vacation, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.